Why would anyone spend 5,000, 20,000, 50,000 US dollars on a desk setup? To figure it out, I watched hundreds of desk setup videos, read thousands of Reddit comments, and spent my entire life savings building this. I honestly still can't believe I spent that much on a monitor. I've never worked in a physical office before. I've always worked from home. For the first 2 years of my career, all I used was just my laptop sitting anywhere I could find. Then in 2020, I bought a super budget 29-inch ultra-wide monitor, plugged my laptop into it, and that has been my desk setup for the past 4 years. No external keyboard, no trackpad, no fancy desk decorations, external speakers, mic, none of that. Just my MacBook connected directly to a larger screen. I've never felt like I needed anything more. When I watch setup videos, I would always wonder why people would spend thousands of dollars on a laptop with a great keyboard, trackpad, mouse, whatever, only to use it in clamshell mode and spend even more money getting other peripherals that essentially do the exact same thing. So I decided to look deeper into it. I scoured the internet watching every single desk setup video that I came across. I scrolled through Reddit groups and Instagram accounts and everything I could find. And I think I finally figured it out. But to understand it, we have to go way back in time. For most of its history, the desk setup was only important for a niche group of people like esports professionals who needed to get the fastest keyboard and mice, the monitor with the highest refresh rate, and basically to tune your environment perfectly to get the best results in the game they're playing. For the minority of us who could work from home, we mostly just used laptops on the dining, couch, or anywhere we could find, without worrying about an actual setup. This worked well because everyone else would be out of the house during the workday, so for the most part, this entire routine was still distraction-free and was good enough to serve its purpose. Well, that was until 2020, when the pandemic hit. Take a look at this Google Trends data, and you can see how searches for desk setups rose dramatically once the pandemic started. While some people simply got a desk and a chair to work with in a spare bedroom or something, many others decided to take a page out of the esports notebook and went all out creating their desk setups. The desk setup became more than productivity. With everyone locked in the house, there was nowhere to wear the nice clothes or drive the nice car to. The desk setup became a lot of people's primary place of personal expression. When I figured this out, it all started to make sense. The reason people spend so much on their desk setup is the reason we spend so much decorating our homes, buying the best clothes, driving the nice car. And in a lot of ways, splurging on our desk setup makes the most sense. How many times do you have guests over in your home? How many hours a day are you driving in that nice car? Chances are if you have a home office, that's where you spend most of your time awake. So why not make it the best you can? When I finally realized this, I knew it was time to build my very own desk setup, and I wasn't going to hold back on the expenses. There are 3 things every desk setup needs to do. Productivity, to help you get more work done and faster. Health and economics, to keep your body in good shape and prevent any long-term health complications that come with working at a desk for too long. And finally, the desk needs to have personality. It shouldn't look or feel generic. It needs to feel like a representation of who you are as a person and the things that you love and things that matter to you. With all of that said, here is my desk setup fulfilling all 3. The most important part of any desk setup is, well, the desk. For this, I knew I had to go with a standing desk. I've wanted one since I first saw them in, I think, around 2020. But they weren't selling them in Nigeria, and it was just really expensive and difficult to find one to import. But that has since changed. Now you can get standing desk from a number of different suppliers here in Nigeria. I'll tag the vendor that I used to get this particular one in the description down below. But also my friends at Viego who sell standing desks and will even come set everything up for you in your house or office or wherever. The desk is wide enough for all my peripherals, and it's also deep enough to where I'm not too close to the monitor. Humans didn't evolve to sit down in one spot for hours. That's why you get back pain after sitting for a long time. Sitting for too long and not being active also leads to other chronic health issues like obesity and diabetes. Contrary to what you might think, standing for too long isn't the solution either. You need to move around every once in a while, which is why I got this under-desk treadmill to go with my standing desk. So when I'm not engrossed in serious work and I'm doing something more light-hearted, like say checking emails, I can walk while I walk. This was absolutely perfect when I was trying to lose weight because I can work on this thing for an hour, burn a lot of calories without even thinking too much about it. Honestly, if you work from home and you're concerned about your health, I can't recommend a treadmill like this enough. You can use it while watching TV, playing video games, or as I do, working. When I'm not walking, I sit on this pretty basic chair. It has a nice cushion for the bum and a mesh back so it doesn't get sweaty. I don't even know the brand name. All I know is that my friends at Those Smiles helped me get it, and you can reach out to them to help you get something similar. Moving on to what's on the desk. This is a large desk mat that I got off of Amazon. It's a grey felt desk pad by Dawn Trees. I wanted a light themed setup throughout the space, and so grey just worked well for the desk mat. On top of the desk mat, I have my mechanical keyboard. This one is the Airpods AK820 Pro with linear switches and XDA style keycaps. I don't like MX style keycaps, they're a bit too thin for my fat fingers. Oh yeah, I've also been completely sucked into the mechanical keyboard hobby. Right over there, you can see the two other boards that I have. This is the Zoya GMK65 with the This is Plastic keycaps, and this is the low free flow, low profile mechanical keyboard with transparent keycaps that I got off of Amazon. This was the keyboard that got me to fall in love with mechanical keyboards, and the rest is history. Let me know if you guys want me to make a dedicated video on the mechanical keyboards that I have, the history of mechanical keyboards, why they are cool, and why maybe you should get into it. It's actually quite interesting. Beside the keyboard, I have my Apple Magic trackpad. I also have the Logitech MX Master 3, like pretty much every other YouTuber, but I don't like it at all. And I would die on the hill that trackpad is far better than a mouse for macOS. On the left side of the keyboard is my XP Pen shortcut remote. It's basically a Bluetooth macro pad. The scroll wheel is to zoom in and out, and then you get 9 different programmable buttons. What I love about this thing is that you can set shortcuts based on the app that you're using. So this button on Safari moves to the next tab, but the same button in Final Cut Pro separates the music and audio tracks. It does that automatically without you having to change anything. The app you use to set it up is also super easy to use. All you have to do is click the button and then type in the shortcut you want to assign to that button, and you're good to go. You can add however many apps you want, and it will switch automatically once it detects that that app is in focus. Trust me, you don't know how useful a macro pad is until you get one. I absolutely love this thing. For a long time, I would use just my laptop for all my Zoom meetings, and it will look like this, and this does not look good. So for this desk setup, I opted to change a few things. First, I got a Logitech C920X webcam that I mounted on top of the monitor. The image quality isn't the best thing in the world, but the most important thing is the angle. It got the camera to face my eye, which is a much better and much more flattering angle than looking from below. For the mic, I used the Shure MV7, which is the USB mic I also used to make this video, so it was like not an extra cost. It was already there, so I just used it, and I used the USB version so I don't have to get like a sound card or anything. So now this is what people see when I'm in meetings, and I think it looks and sounds so much better. Speaking of audio, I also have the Logitech Z707 stereo speakers. Most of the time when I'm at my desk, I'm using my Airpods Pro or my Audio Technica M40, but when I want to play stuff like lo-fi beats out loud to fill the office, I use these speakers. They don't have the best bass in the world, but they are really affordable for what they offer. Plus, I also like how they look. It's just like pure black, and they also have Bluetooth, so I can connect them to my phone and play music that way if I wanted to, even though I never use that option. Now to the main attraction of this setup, the monitors. I went with a dual stacked monitor setup because that's just what I'm used to. Like I said, I used to have my laptop underneath the monitor for like the past 4 years, and I wasn't ready to let that sort of experience go. So the screen on the bottom is a portable 15-inch screen that I got off of Amazon used. It was just the cheapest I could find that was 1080p. It's from the company, I think it's called Zopa. I use this screen for like secondary tasks, stuff like keeping Slack open, emails, and my music player. It's also there for when something pops up in my head and I just want to quickly Google search it or just write it down in my notes without having to switch away from the main thing that I'm doing up on the bigger screen. Speaking of the bigger screen, this is the holy grail of this entire setup, and honestly, one of the most expensive things I own, period. The shipping cost as much as the screen itself. It was insane. I honestly still can't believe I spent that much on a monitor, but it was worth it. I love this monitor so much. It's the LG 38-inch 4K monitor with Ergo stand. It's super wide, which means I can fit 3 different windows on here pretty easily. It's also a lot taller than my 29-inch monitor was, and so that extra vertical real estate is great for things like working on long Word documents, which I actually do a lot, both for work and my personal stuff. Honestly, if you haven't tried an ultra wide, you definitely need to. I don't think I can ever go back to using a monitor that's not ultra wide. I'll just feel so limited. Powering everything just under the monitor is the base model M1 Max Mac Studio. Before this, I was using the MacBook Air M1 and I absolutely loved that laptop. But it was starting to show its age a little when editing. But I still really liked the laptop for everything else. It's so thin and light and it works. So I didn't want to get rid of that laptop and get another laptop. So instead of getting another MacBook, I decided to just save on the cost and get the Mac Studio instead. It also made justifying spending a lot of money on all my peripherals easier because it doesn't come with any of its own peripherals. The rest of the space comes together through decorations and lighting. I have a monitor light bar from Xiaomi that illuminates the desk, which is great when I'm working in the dark and I can see my keyboard, my trackpad, everything. At the back of the monitor is the Govee light bar, which acts as bias lighting, so the contrast between light and dark when I'm working late at night isn't too much. I've also got a fake plant here, like every other YouTuber, and a couple of cute panda figurines to tie the whole setup together. If you didn't already know, I love pandas. There's more details I can go into, like the studio space itself, so you guys just let me know in the comment section down below if you'd be interested in seeing my entire office/studio space. Working in a space that makes you feel good makes the work that you produce that much better. It allows you to enjoy the creative process, perform your best work while keeping you healthy. But the truth is, you don't have to spend your entire life savings on your desk setup like I did. You can start small. Get a budget monitor and plug your laptop directly into it like I did all those years ago, and work your way up from there. One thing that a desk setup won't do for you though is help you manage your time. Watch this video next to find out how you can do that yourself.